I'm Logan D from Period 4, Mr. Bull's class, and this is my book thief project.
What scene is this?
This collage scene is the book burning, Liesel's first book burning, where she picks up the shoulder shrug.
Why did you choose it?
I chose this because it's like her second book that she stole, and that it kind of just like starts to add up that she wants more and more books.
How did you make it?
I made it with a whole bunch of like printed pictures off and then like overlapping them with glue and stuff, and it just, yeah.
How long did it take?
It took me probably about 4 hours because I printed so many pictures and I had to glue them all on there, and yeah, I put a lot of effort into this.
What would you have done different if money and time were not issues?
I probably would have covered the whole entire page instead of leaving this area here.
What grade would you give it and why?
I would probably give this a 4 because of how much time and effort I took up with this. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Hey, wait. The next one's on there too.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's still on there.
Okay. And then my next.
What scene is it?
This scene is the Gravedigger's Handbook, where she goes to find, like she goes to her brother's graveyard and she finds the Gravedigger's Handbook.
Why did you choose it?
I chose it because it was the pivotal scene, and it was like her first book, which added up, gave her like the joy of finding it, and gave her like the necessity to read, which like started the book.
How did you make it?
I made it with a whole bunch of colored pencils and just basically work.
How long did it take?
This probably took me about an hour and a half. I didn't try the hardest out of everything on this one, because this was probably like the last thing I did.
What would you have done different if money and time were not issues?
I would have done differently. I probably would have made it like 3D or something to make it like more work, so, because like it's like flat. I probably would have like put it in the shoebox.
What grade would you give it and why?
I would probably give it a 3 because it wasn't my greatest work that I could have done, but it was still good.
Alright, next.
My next scene was my stop motion animation that I emailed to Mr. Wool.
Yeah.
And this is just the props that I brought in that somebody broke. Yeah. And
What scene is this?
this is where Max is like daydreaming that he's boxing Hitler.
Why did you choose it?
I chose this scene because it basically is showing how much hatred that Max himself has for the Fuhrer, Hitler.
How did you make it?
I made it by cutting my own wood and nailing it all together myself. I didn't like buy this myself. I went and I cut all of this and I made the ropes.
How long did it take?
Oh, this one probably take me about 3 days to make because I had to cut it and nail it together and glue it, and I had to make the Lego guys, and then I had to take the pictures, which took forever.
What would you have done differently if time and money were not a problem?
If time and money weren't a problem, I probably would have taken more pictures and made it a little bit longer stop motion animation, more so than it is.
What grade would you give it and why?
I would give this a 4 because it is basically the hardest thing I've worked on. It took the most time. I put the most effort into this.
Alright, thanks Logan.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.